So if you are the corporation providing that service, the vendor, and you are gathering a person's contextual history on many different dimensions, the most fundamental one being their location as you go through time, but many other dimensions too. And then you process that using good, strong, powerful artificial intelligence code in the cloud. Then what you're doing is you're being able to start to provide constant scenario support for every individual. The reason that this is all going to start with smartphones is simply because there are so many different situations that you find yourself in with your phone. Diversity in use cases, which means a highly adaptable, highly situationally aware service. The phone is sensing what you're doing. The phone is sensing what you're interested in, where you're going, where you've been. That enables an ability to respond to all these different diverse use cases. The second reason why it's starting with mobility, with phones, is simply that your attention already is a scarce resource. It's one of the most scarce resources you have. When you're moving, when you're traveling, walking on your bicycle in a car, your attention is even more scarce. So those are two very good driving forces to cause contextual awareness to be starting in the vicinity of smartphones and then build out from there. If these phones can deliver contextually aware services when you need it and the amount you need it, and in ways that actually help your life, and especially know when to not do anything, when to not interrupt, you've got great value. So context plus value to the individual, the salience of information that can be provided given the context you're in, that is what's going to make this happen. Now, to have it happen, the way to implement it is we have to have a lot of hybridization. Hybrid inputs, highly parallel hybrid inputs to your device, your phone. What is your phone sensing? It's sensing things about the data stream that you're sending via email and texts, the data stream in the voice, the terms, terminology, semantic analysis of the conversations you have on your phone, but also other kinds of inputs too. What's the humidity? What's the atmospheric pressure? The wind speed around you, the brightness of the day, and gathering huge amounts of this data, performing pattern recognition, pattern analysis on this in order to then project what this new situation is that you find yourself in tomorrow, what the parallels are to previous situations. Then run those analytics, highly adaptive, highly multiplied ways to analyze the same data. In other words, hybrid. Hybrid methods work so well. They provide a kind of redundancy that we find in nature. And finally, we need more than just the little displays on our phone. That's way, way too limiting. We need other methods of getting information, supportive, contextually aware information to individuals, primarily hearing. We're so limited to using visual information right now. I'm just surprised that most people don't have a Bluetooth headset in their ear most of the time, because it's so much more useful to have that than to have to look down at your phone. That will change, I believe. I believe it has to change. But the information configuration services aren't there yet. That's the reason we're not carrying them. The models that we have to be able to deliver these hybrid methods of data collection, hybrid methods of data analysis, and hybrid methods of data display, the biological models are out there. That's what we can use to build the computer architecture, the software architecture that can deliver these services, the analysis, and the end result. Most species, especially prey species, like the rabbit you see in the lower left corner here, they have multiple ways of perceiving their environment for their own safety. A rabbit, we can think of a rabbit, of course, having big ears, but notice the eyes on this rabbit. The eyes are on the sides of its head. That's very common in prey species, so they can see a great deal more than you and I can, since we tend to be a predator species. They can see larger fields of view, and this is fascinating to me. A rabbit has stereo vision just like we do, except it's not out front where our stereo vision is, where we can see depth if one is chasing prey. Rabbits, their stereo vision is above them, in a cone above their heads. Why is that? It's because the most dangerous prey, the most dangerous predator for them is birds, hawks. They can tell how fast that bird is swooping down to attack them really, really well, because they have a multiplicity of ways to perceive their environment. Our systems, our devices, our phones have to have a multiplicity of ways to perceive the environment in order to provide us with the most value that we can have going forward.